Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. That's the book we're going to be speaking about in today's video. Let's get started. Hey folks, as I said, we're going to be speaking about Psychology of Money. It's the one book that changed my perspective and thinking about money. And surprise, surprise, it doesn't have any investing techniques. It doesn't speak about the instruments that you should be investing in. It doesn't give you magical formulas to say, hey, this is the amount of retirement funds that you need to have and stuff like that. Rather, it speaks about the most important aspect when it comes to money. The psychology behind it, the thinking that you need to have while deploying your money to multiply. The first principle that I took away from the book is compounding, right? The art of compounding, or the phenomenon of compounding phenomenon. So what is it, right? So again, there is tons spoken about compounding, but I just want to do like a small thought experiment. So let's say from May, when I'm shooting this on the end of April, so let's say on the 1st of May, you start investing $1 and then you keep doubling it every single day of the month of May. So on the 2nd of May, you would invest $2, and then I give you on the 3rd of May $4, on the 4th of May, I would give you $8, and I keep continuing this till the end of May, 30th or 31st of May. So just take a moment to go and comment on the amount of money that you would have by the end of the month just by doubling the money every single day. Go ahead, do it. So I'm sure you've posted in the guess, how much money do you think you will have, right? So this number kind of was mind-boggling for me when I first read it. So the number is 1,073,742,000 just by doubling the money every single day. Congratulations, you have kind of been a billionaire now. So you could go stop watching this video, go do whatever you want. No, I'm kidding, only if things were as simple as that. So now imagine, you started investing a week late, right? So let's say May 8th or May 9th, first week of May, you want to chill, you're going on a vacation. Let's say you start investing from the second week of May. Imagine what wealth would you have? Again, go on to the comment section and then say 1 week later, you start investing, what is the money that you would have? Again, this is a number that kind of surprised me. It's just going to be a meager, like very, very less money, which is just 8 million, right? Wouldn't you take 8 million? But what I want you to see, folks, is the difference between 1,073,742,000 and just having 8 million when you start investing a week later, right? So that's 99% lesser wealth, and because of the magic of compounding, so you start a week early, you have 99% more wealth than what you would have done when you started a week later. This was kind of mind-boggling for me to kind of process. And then I did some reading. There is stories mentioned in the book about how Warren Buffett made roughly 83 billion of his 85 billion worth after his 65th birthday, right? So he's been investing from the age of 18, and 95% of his wealth were made after his 65th birthday, right? The magic of compounding is so unreal that I couldn't believe my eyes when I kind of started thinking about investing, right? And now I've told myself that, hey, you know what? I'm going to let compounding take care of my money as long as it is compounding the right way. So that brings us to the second psychology, that the price that you pay, right? So only if things were so simple, right? So the price, everything has a price. So, in the first one, we spoke about how compounding does its magic. But why do most people take out their money whenever they see the market crashing, whenever things are coming down and stuff like that? Because, when you're in the markets, when you're investing or whatever instruments you're investing in, there is always going to be volatility, right? When things are volatile, staying in the market to ensure that compounding takes over, you are being tested on that skill. Right? So what do I mean by that, right? So a lot of people, when the market goes down, they keep thinking that, oh my God, okay, I need to take my money. I would rather have some amount of money taken out for my safety net rather than, not seeing my money grow and things like that. That gives a lot of people the anxiety. But Morgan Housel goes on to say that that is the price you pay for staying in the market for long enough, right? So as they say, there is no free lunch out there. So if you want the magic of compounding to start kicking in, the price that you have to pay is putting up with the volatility of the market, right? And there is a very a beautiful example that comes to my mind, which is to say, in one of my previous houses that I used to live, we didn't have a car park, right? So I used to pay one of my neighbors a very small fee and tell them that, hey, I want to park my car here. I didn't think of it like, hey, I'm paying a fine to them because that is the fine that I'm paying to ensure that my car is parked in the right way. Rather, I was thinking of it as a small fee for the larger good, right? So my car is not going to be in the outdoors, the color of the car is not going to fade because it's in the color covered car parking and things like that. So that is the fee that I pay to ensure that my car's overall well-being, right? It's a small fee compared to the upsides that I had. So similarly, don't think of you staying in the market or putting up with the volatility as a fine that you are paying. Rather, think of it as a fees that you're giving the market to ensure that your wealth starts compounding later in the time. The third one, the magnitude of chance. This is by far my most favorite lesson from the book, mainly because we all underestimate the role of luck and chance in making our wealth, right? So Morgan goes on to outline about how chance plays a very, very big role in the amount of wealth you create. In fact, he goes on to claim that majority of your return is going to come from the tailwinds that you from the tailwinds of your investments, right? He gives this example of Bill Gates. We all know Bill Gates, how rich he is, how successful he is as an entrepreneur, how much of a visionary he is in the tech world and things like that. But what a lot of people don't acknowledge is the access to computers that he had when he was pretty young, right? So the probability of someone having access to computer at that point of time when Bill Gates was growing up was 1 in a million, right? So because he had access to computer, a lot of gates started opening up for him, right? So imagine someone from the other side of the world who might not have access to computer. It's none of their fault, right? We grossly underestimate the role chance plays in our life, in terms of wealth creation, in terms of access to things and stuff like that. So when you're thinking about, oh my god, okay, why is that person making so much money than I am? Maybe I'm doing the same amount of hard work as that person, but I have far lesser money. Just keep this in mind, that chance and luck plays a huge role in the amount of money that you make. The fourth one is again a lot of the lessons in this book is my favorite. Wealth is what you don't see, right? So people often confuse being wealthy with being rich, right? So being rich, at least in my head, is about you flaunting the latest brand of watch, you having like very expensive perfumes, you having like a very expensive car and things like that. Whereas Morgan goes on to say, hey, being wealthy is just about you doing things your own way at your own time and doing it because you love it, right? And not because someone is giving you money to do it, right? So being wealthy is that where you are in control of your time, you're doing things that you love. Whereas being rich is something that you're doing for societal status. But you might come back and ask me, hey Praveen, what is even the problem? It's my money, my hard-earned money. Why not, I buy this watch, I buy an expensive phone. Why not I buy, whatever perfume that I want, or the handbag for my girlfriend and things like that, right? Buying these materialistic goods is you being on a hedonic treadmill, right? Materials seldom bring happiness to us. Again, this is not me sounding philosophical, but let's say you want to buy a materialistic thing for a very, very long time. Let's say you end up buying that car. Would you say that, hey, I'm done? Probably not. You're going to look at someone who has a more expensive car, a more expensive perfume, a more expensive watch than you, and you're going to say, that's my next goal, right? But imagine you doing things that you love. Your comparison stops with yourself, right? So you are your own competition. So Morgan goes on to say, being wealthy is, the renovations that you postpone, the purchases that you didn't make, the expensive gifts that you didn't, buy for yourself and all those things. And you doing things because you love and not because you want to flaunt. Fifth one is very closely related to what we discussed in the fourth point, which is using money to buy control, right? So the ultimate prize that you can gift yourself is the freedom of doing what you want, right? So imagine how many days have you been exhausted from your work or exhausted from doing whatever you are doing, but you are being putting up with it because you don't have any other choice, right? You want that money to give you shelter, you want that money to give you food, you want that money to ensure that your kids are going to the right school, you want that money to ensure that you are supporting your family and all those sort of things. Again, nothing wrong about it, but at some level, the biggest gift money can give you is buying back your time, buying back your happiness, buying back the control that you have, right? A lot of us have a ton of aspirations, ton of things that we want to do, but what's stopping us from doing that is that we have to wake up and go to office tomorrow, is that we have to do something tomorrow to ensure that I earn money. So again, I'm not going to say that, hey, earning money is a wrong thing, but as you start earning money, use that to earn your control. Maybe you can automate a few things in your life. Maybe you can start generating alternate sources of income with that money. Maybe you can start pursuing your passion, and that, my friends, gives you a ton of happiness that materialistic things can never equate. So buying back control of your time is the biggest asset that money can give you, and I can't tell you how powerful that is. The sixth one, when will you say it's enough, right? So you see a lot of millionaires and billionaires kind of getting caught in scam for a few 10 millions, few 100 millions and things like that. And the funny thing is, because greed is what drives them. Greed for money, greed for wanting more. And I'm not going to single out millionaires or people who have a lot of money. This is a lot of people like you and me who do a lot of unethical things, who do a lot of things to ensure that they want more money. Why do they do that, right? At times because we don't know how much money we really want. So just take a pause to think, what money will you say, hey, I'm done with earning money, now I'm gonna do things because I enjoy doing it. We might say a few millions, some might say a few 100 millions, you might say a few crores, a few 100 crores and things like that. But I highly recommend, if you have a partner or a spouse, or if you are by yourself, just sit down to do a mental calculation, or probably do it on an Excel or a notebook to see what is that money that you will say enough to, right? It could be whatever number. So account for all your needs, all your wants, all your travel, all your vacations, having probably the best gifts that you could buy for yourself. And just come up with that number, right? Because if you're not going to come up with that number, you're always going to be running without knowing what's enough, and God forbidden, you might get into, let's say, some unethical ways because you are getting a few extra bucks here and there, right? Because greed for money is a real thing, and it makes humans do weird things that you might otherwise not do in the absence of that greed. So let's say that this is how much I want. You reach that target, probably you can buy back control and do things that you really love, that gives you happiness, that gives you that calm that you've been searching for all your life, or probably you've already got it. So you can continue adopting that for a lifetime. Seventh one, save as much as you can and always live slightly below your means. Again, we have stressed about this enough, but I can't imagine the number of people around me who splash money for status symbol, who splash money to get approval of the society, who splash that money to just have that validation from their peers that, okay, that is great. This guy or this person seems to be wearing a most expensive watch. Friends, let me tell you, no one really cares, right? Wealth is what you don't see. Use that to buy back control. I think I've stressed this, probably the single biggest lesson that I have kept repeating all throughout this video. And the eighth and the final lesson is, the best investment strategy is the one that lets you sleep in the night. Right? Again, this was life-changing for me, because I am someone who's constantly looking at the returns in the market. I'm looking at, hey, is this mutual fund better than the other one? Is this index fund better than the other one? Should I be investing in this mutual fund versus that mutual fund? So I'm someone who just keeps checking these returns on a day-to-day basis. How is this stock doing versus how is that stock doing? So friends, if with all these investments you're not able to have a stress-free, sound sleep in the night, it's not worth it. So the best investment strategy, the best portfolio mix, the best instruments to invest in are the ones that lets you sleep in the night. So that wraps up this video and the 8 lessons that I spoke or I took away from reading Psychology of Money. Do let me know if you like this video, and until I see you in the next one, this is Praveen Ramesh signing off.